Are you ready?
Irashaimase! Welcome to the Art of Comics. It's your host, Andre Salazar. We're doing a debrief of the solo exhibition. I'm here in the studio, Ventura, California. I'm actually in the middle of painting, working on this little painting right now while I have the gallery open for a couple hours. Every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, the month of May, I have the gallery open 1 to 4 here in Ventura, California, and I figured while I have it open, while people come in and out and check out the artwork, I'll work on a painting just to do it. So some of you might be asking, well, what about the comics? This is called the Art of Comics channel. Where's the comics? Why are we talking about your solo exhibition? To that I say, it's not always about you, okay? It's about me. This is my channel. And right now, we're going to talk about my show because this is a milestone, an important event that happened. And it can't always be about reviewing some damn comic book. So you guys just got to get over that. Now, to the rest of you who love art in total, let's talk about the show. And I'm going to flip the camera over so you can see the work as I talk about it. So the gallery opening was Friday evening. It was well attended. As I think about the show and think about how things went, I feel very good about it. We had around 80 people here, I believe. And for this location, 80 people's good. The fact that this gallery space has been dormant for 6 months is actually pretty good. So we had a good number of people there. We had art collectors, people I knew, people who had heard about it. When you're doing art, when you're doing a show, basically you got to promote it. You can't just sit there and make comics or make art. You got to go launch the Kickstarter, tell everybody on social media. I mean, that's all part of it. So I have been hitting it hard, working hard at doing that. So yeah, overall, I felt like it was a good experience. I felt like a belle of the ball. I was like a bride at my wedding. Everyone wanted to talk to me. Everyone wanted to tell me that it looked good, that they were happy about it, and some wanted to buy it, right, and take it home. And that's great. That's the purpose. We had a couple people who run galleries show up, so they gave me some thoughts, some things to think about. And yeah, it was good. It's one of these things where you feel excited about it. It was a little surreal what was happening, and now it's just a memory. It's kind of sad because it was a good event, but now it's over. And now I try to figure out what's the next thing, right? Do I just what do I do with this experience? The objective, of course, is to sell work and go to the next show, right? Go to the next thing with better prices and such. So, it's just something I'm trying to figure out. And I'm still kind of decompressing the emotions and the event of it. But overall, it was very good. It was very positive. I had some great experiences. I had some great helpers. I had Nathaniel and Jackie. They both helped me both hang the show and kind of run that night and talk to people. And when you're talking to people about art, a lot of it's educational. You're sharing. They want to know your thoughts when you made it, and they want to know all about it and about you. And you're also kind of educating them on art, on how to look at art. And not everybody there knows art, right? They know what they like, but they don't really understand it necessarily. So part of that is just educating, and that's what I do here on the channel, right? That's what we talk about a lot on the channel. So what I will do, so big picture, it was good, it was great. I have wonderful memories, good experience. Personally, I'm still processing it. I am sad. There's a moment of sadness because it's over, and you don't always get to be the coolest kid in the at school. So that day was my cool day, and now I'm just a normal dude, right? But let's go through some of the art, and I'll show you what's going on. So all the pieces here I've shown you, and there's actually a second room. I don't even know if I'm going to go to the second room. Maybe I will. I don't know. So there's there's 30 pieces in this room. Then there's another 10 pieces in the other room. So a total of 40. And then there's a bunch of work on paper. I don't know if we'll go into the other room because I just don't feel like opening it up. But this is the main room. And I'll kind of like walk you through a little bit about the pieces. So got my name here. We're going to start with this one. This painting is the first of this group. Now, like I said, all this was done in the last 10 months. So in 10 months, I made all these paintings. It has been fast and furious and exhilarating and fun, and I've just had a blast. This painting right here was the first one of the bunch. It's actually a redo. I did a painting very much like this. It was this 4 or 5 years ago, and I was never satisfied with it. And last year, I took it down from my wall and I redid it. I kind of like digitized it. I used these abstract kind of big brush strokes with splotches of color, cool, some warm, and I kind of just like fuzzed it out because this was a lot more detailed. And I kind of fuzzed it out, and I think it works. When I did that, I got a lot of feedback from other artists that said, wow, this is really cool. I like this. Do more of this. That then inspired me to do likewise, and I did this one. And I worked on this one. Same kind of principle, same technique. After that, I did this one. This actually is another underpainting. This was a patriotic painting with comic books. I did some Mod Podge of like X-Men comics and some patriotical things, and I was kind of like doing this anti-war kind of political statement. It never worked. It just did not work at all. And then I started like, I'm going to make a field of just green and then the sky, and it turned out, and there's some words still here. This one I like a lot. I think this is a nice painting. This one turned out cool. So those three. Once I did that, and I did a couple others in the other room of this kind of technique, I started getting bored. And so what I wanted to do was kind of change the brush strokes a bit. And then I went to these two. And these are a lot softer. So if you can see, it's a lot softer. There's a lot more blending happening here. It's still abstract, but it's just, it feels different. Same with this one. This one I really like. Again, very soft here, very much blended out, but I like this one a lot too. So that's a really nice piece. So I did those. After I did those, I started going back to the idea of using shapes. And so really, I'm still in abstract, but I'm doing these shapes. And I'm saying, okay, I want this, and then I'm going to do this one next to it. So these are sister paintings. When I paint basically 2 to 3 paintings at a time. And those two I did together. And I wanted red paintings. I wanted strong, powerful paintings. And now I'm doing almost kind of color field as far as these big shapes and putting these colors. And this originally was actually tilted the other way. And then it really wasn't working until then I put it on its side, and then I felt like that worked well. And I at the very end, added this kind of green here. You kind of like add some elements of blue and green. I like this one a lot, and that one, okay? Then I was like, okay, I want to play with palette knife work. So I was doing these palette knife things. And this is all palette knife, again, very explosive, very, masculine mark making. I'm adding a little bit of lines, a little bit of stuff here, right? This is a painting over a painting. And then I did these floral pieces. I did this one, which is kind of like flowers, right? Again, palette knife, big colors, blocks. I block this out in big colors, and then I go in here with a knife, palette knife, and I put in some things. So this is kind of like floral. When I did that, we come over here to the colored work. I started thinking more about the paperwork. I started thinking more about flowers, and I did these watercolors with this, again, kind of abstract floral idea. I wanted some of these pieces. Then I was getting tired of flowers, but I liked what I had been doing with the palette knife and with this. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do some more work, and I'm going to do these three. I did these two together at the same time. This was all going to be muted umber, siennas, those colors, and I just wound up putting some blues and a little bit of red in there. I couldn't help myself. This one as well. The difference now is I'm adding a little bit of line. I'm using some oil like pencil, this oil like chalk type stuff. I'm putting lines in here. I hadn't been using line, and I'm thinking, why am I not adding line to the work? So I added line to this piece. Okay, that one not well, a little bit like right there, not much. I worked on these pieces. I did this piece over here, which is a landscape, and this is the first one where I use my fingers. So there is some brush work, but a lot of this is using fingers, just using my hands, using and palette knives, some palette knife, there's some hand work, but this is much more of a landscape, of course. This is a bit more muted as far as colors, but I do like this one a lot. I think this one's a very, very cool piece. And then we go to this one here. Again, similar to the others, still abstract. We got some line work here, there. And then these two at the same time, again, keeping with that floral theme, right? We've got this one. People seem to like this one a lot. It's a nice composition. These palette knife, these spaces, different colors, and here as well. This one. This was another painting. I paint over it, basically. If I don't like it, I'll just keep painting over it. And I like these little moments here with these white lines that work out pretty good. Did that. Then we went to this one. Now this one I had been working on and off for a little bit. I got this canvas from somebody, and I had just been using my hands like I had learned from previous, just using my hands, moving things around, and it really wasn't working, and I just let it sit for like a month, and then I went back to it, and I made a coloring book for my son of these dinosaur toys, and I made these little black outlined of dinosaur toys, and I thought, what if I projected the dinosaur toy outlines on the canvas? So I projected it, and I'm like, oh, I like that. So then what I did was I got a marker or I got a brush, and I just started outlining out these dinosaur toys, right? And then now you have this piece that is almost like a cave drawing done at a schoolyard by children. And now I feel it works because of the dinosaurs. Otherwise, it would just be this kind of, abstract expressionist work from like the 1950s. So when I did that clicked. I'm like, oh, I can project line art on my abstract work. Okay, so then why don't we start doing that? And that's where I go into things like this piece, where now I'm entering more narrative work using figures, using projected artwork that I did. So these are different drawings. This is actually a composition of different pencil drawings I did. Projected it on the canvas and then started painting it. So I did something like this, and you will see over here, here's a piece. This is just, I did this in my sketchbook, and I just really liked the way this looked. And I said, okay, let's do this on canvas. So then I color it, and I just paint this through. And so now I have this painted piece of that. And this is one of my favorite ones, actually. Continuing that, I then got some contour drawings. I started doing blind contour drawings, which is where you look at the reference material but not the paper or pen that you're using. And I did these contour drawings. And that's what this one is. And I really like these a lot. He's probably my favorite. And her. And this is basically just, again, now I'm really drawing on the canvas. And I'm using figures. And I'm doing narration. And there's a story. And then here's another one. So this is where now it's now different. We're using abstract ideas, but now we're telling a story with it and we're adding people to it. And I think this is where I'm going to be going next. This is the direction. Here's another piece here that I did using some photography that I took in Venice Beach. And then here's a picture of Boyle Heights. I really like this one a lot. This is one of the few like traditional kind of landscape things I've done. This is from a photograph that I took, and I think that one turned out really cool. So there's that one as well. And that is all. Oh, and then we have a couple more. So we have this one. This is a photograph of me as a 3-year-old. My mother dressed me up for Halloween as a hobo clown. In the 70s, hobo clowns were not scary. And I love the photo. I said, I gotta paint this. So I stretched this on. I stretched this linen on some stretcher bars, and I painted it. And I love this a lot. This one was sold. That's a really fun. It's a very eerie, kind of spooky thing. This much more photorealistic than the other work, but it's got a tone I really like. And the last one is the first one here by the name. This was another one was sold. This is a piece where I did similarly timed to those, but I really wanted more of a minimal approach. I wanted it mostly white. I wanted some big action marks. I used my fingers, which you can tell here. I'm using my hands here. And I just wanted a couple lines, this beautiful organic line next to these hard perpendicular lines work really well. The colors are vibrant, and this one's one of my favorites, so that one sold as well. So it was a great experience. That's a breakdown of my path, basically, how I've went from abstract expressionist work, landscape expressionist kind of stuff, to more figurative work, narrative things, and using a lot more line, a lot more reference of my own photos and things like that. So that's the show. There's another room again, but we're not going to go there. It's more, there's some newer stuff, but you'll just have to come to see that one. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.